heavy,
bored.
Because this is the first one that I kind of made me feel something, but I also want to use it as an example of what I was talking about in the monologue. So, the dead by the side of the road. How did a great red-tailed hawk come to lie, all stiff and dry, on the shoulder of Interstate 5? Her wings for dance fans. Zach skinned a skunk with a crushed head, washed the pelt in gas. It hangs, tanned, in his tent. Fawn stew on Halloween, hit by a truck on Highway 49, offer cornmeal by the mouth, skin it out. Log trucks run on fossil fuel. I never saw a ringtail till I found one in the road. Case skinned it with the toenails, foot pads, nose, and whiskers on. It soaks in salt and water, sulfuric acid pickle. She will be a pouch for magic tools. The doe was apparently shot, lengthwise and through the side, shoulder and out the flank, belly full of blood. Can save the other shoulder maybe, if she didn't lie too long. Pray to their spirits, ask them to bless us, our ancient sisters' trails. The roads were laid across and kill them. Night shining eyes, the dead by the side of the road. This is one that I think actually made me feel something, and this is one that I want to praise a little bit, but it still relies on something outside the poem in parts, and I want to point to those parts. So I get this kind of, right, we get the overall theme, this kind of outrage at animals being killed, right, and this kind of, a common thing for a poem. We don't like to see innocent things suffering needlessly. Most human beings have an issue with that. I mean, very few people take glee in that besides, crazy people. But this is the main subject, right? And the point of emphasis in the poem is the same thing with these animals. But there is little to tell us or express the emotion. And there, I guess, all right, so the things like log trucks run on fossil fuels. This is just kind of thrown in there. And it's by itself. It doesn't quite fit apart from the fact that it's talking about roadkill. But like log trucks run on fossil fuel, it doesn't actually do anything as we move through here, right? Like it's just kind of like a little protest line put in there that almost, I would say, distracts, because the way it's placed on its by a line by itself, it's bringing extra attention to this line that doesn't quite fit. But I think it's also kind of the last stanza that does the most work on this front, where he's trying to get this across, right? So one, the title is the last line. It's a little bit lazy to me, but okay, whatever. Can save the other shoulder maybe, if she didn't lie too long. Pray to their spirits, ask them to bless us, our ancient sisters' trails. And roads were laid across and kill them. Night shining eyes, the dead by the side of the road. So I think this is the last stanza is doing the most work for this entire thing, because it's showing us this roadkill, but then it's actually showing us, like these random guy Zach, who we don't know, right? We don't know who that is unless you know biography, which again is relying on something outside of the poem. Log trucks run on fossil fuel. Now there's no mention of kind of fracking, oil drilling, anything like that before the poem, but he's just throwing that in there because again, he's relying on something outside the poem to give this poem a little bit more meaning, and he does this with every poem in the book. And that's why it doesn't quite fit, or it feels like it's kind of reaching for something that isn't quite there. Whereas this is small enough, I would say. And I like this poem, but this is small enough. This kind of roadkill idea is small enough to really expand in the theme that I think Snyder wants to do with kind of, it's wrong that this is happening, these poor animals getting hit by cars and left for dead on the side of the road, right? But again, it's trying to do too much. It's trying to broaden it too much. He's having these kind of broad references to things that just, hurts it for me. But of course, let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite poem in this is, listeners. All right, let's move to page.
Inner.
resources, American resources.
Being bored?
Some activities are intentional, right?
It shows such a lack of gratitude for life. Bored. I aspire to boredom, I should say.
Bored. Heavy.
I am heavy.
Bored.
Has you the night sweats and the day sweats, pal? Pal, I do.